In this video, I want to talk to you about posts. Posts are the content of your site, your text, your videos, your pictures. And right now, this being a new site, we do not have any content. We do not have any posts. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's head into our dashboard here. And right here on the dashboard, unless you've done some customizing and moved it, you've got this quick press. This is pretty good if you've got a quick idea that you want to kind of capture, but you don't have the full post you want to publish just yet. Right here you can put in the title, some content, a couple of tags if you want. Tags are the same as keywords. And then click on Save Draft. That way if you do this, you can come on in here to Post, click on that, and it will show up here later on as a draft for you to actually put in the full-blown post once you get the entire thought process done on this particular content. Now, under this category, you can see here where you can add new, and this is where we came to create our categories, and you can also add post tags. We'll cover that later on. But let's go ahead and click on Add New, and I try to add my title first. And then come on down here to Content, and somewhere in between here you'll see that the URL for this particular post is automatically generated. Now you can change this, but we'll cover that on. Now you can see here, you can say this is a draft just like we did with the quick press. You can see the status of this draft. You can see the visibility right now is public, but you can edit this where you want it to be private so only others that are members of this particular WordPress site can see this, or you can even restrict it further by clicking this and nobody can see this particular post unless they were to enter the password that is asked of them whenever they click on the link to view this post. That way you can make it kind of secure. And this option here is pretty cool too. Before I explain this, let me tell you that whenever you publish a post, it'll show up on the top of your front page. The next post that you publish will also show up on the top of your front page. The one published just prior to that will drop down. And that's the basic process. As you publish a new post, it's on top, and all others prior to that publishing will fall below it. By clicking this box here and clicking OK, this particular post will be stuck at the very top of your front page, and all other new posts that are published after this one will go below it and continue that process. That's the cool thing behind making this sticky. There's a lot of advantages to having this option at your disposal. So think about that. Anyway, so we can cancel that out here. Publishing. Right now, as soon as you click on this, it's going live so everybody in the world can see it. You can alter that by either backdating it, making this published last year sometime, or post dating it so that this will be available say next week or next month. Ideal if you have a bunch of posts but you're going to be out of town and won't have access to your computer for some time. You can predate these so that at a given date that you assign here, let's say next month, click on schedule, and this will be automatically published hands-free at the time and date that you set right here. Pretty cool stuff. And of course you've got this guy here that will move it to the trash, whereas in prior editions of WordPress you had a delete button here that would just boom, eliminate it altogether. Moving it to the trash is just like on your computer, your recycle bin. You can always retrieve it from your trash if you accidentally deleted one that you did not want to delete. So that's the cool thing about this new version of WordPress. Not all is final. And you can also assign a category, and if you do not assign a category, then one will be assigned for you. And usually it was your predominant or the main category, the first one created. In this case was dog. So I'm going to go ahead and assign dog as a category here. And you've got some other options here. You want to create a new category from within the post section. You can do that just like we did before. You can give it a name. The slug will be automatically assigned to this, and you can just determine if it's a parent category or a child of one of the other categories. And then click on this, and now you've got a new category. Post tags. These are your keywords that you want associated with this post. So if somebody does a search on their favorite search engine for these particular phrases or words, then you stand a pretty good chance of showing up in the results. Excerpts. Yeah, it's usually something that's not used a whole lot, but you can in fact make one, or as it says here, handcraft one. If you do not, no biggie. If need be, WordPress will take the first few words or sentences of your content and make that the excerpt if it is required. And down here at the bottom, of course, you got these custom fields. A lot of cool stuff in here, but more than what we're going to be going over in this little video. But right here, by default, comments and trackbacks are allowed. If you do not want this content that you're creating here to be viewed by the entire world via comments, or you do not want trackbacks and you want to untick these guys. So be aware that that is by default automatically ticked. And come on back up here. You can make some adjustments here in the look and feel of your content just by using the WYSIWYG editor that you have. You can bold the content, you can italicize it, give it a strike through, and if you come over here to the kitchen sink option, you'll have more options available for you where you can change the style of font to heading. You can change the color of the font to, let's say, red, if we want to do that, like so. And a lot of other options here that you would find in most of the what you see is what you get in style HTML editors on the market now. Now, these two options here I need to point out too. Right now we are in the visual where you don't have to know any coding. Just type it, make the adjustments here, and boom, it will show up on the visitor's browser just as you have here. Now then you also have the HTML option where you can see it's all this gibberish here. This is the code that makes this show up the way that you've got it set. This is what the browsers look at to determine how to present it to the visitor on their particular computer, on their browser. And it's important to know of these two because if you're in the visual option and say you want to add some, in some cases like a code for a video player, then sometimes that video player installation of that code needs to be done in HTML and not in visual. It will not work if you add that code, that raw code, to the visual section. You'd have to add that raw code to the HTML section. So just be aware of that. And that's basically it. There's a whole lot more to this, but for the basics, this is going to cover it. Let's go ahead and come on back here and publish this guy. And click on publish. Now it is live for the world to see. You can click right here to view post. You can click right here to view post. Let's go ahead and do that. There you go. Now the world is looking at this and seeing just that, well, Benny was funny, but that was struck out. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on posts.